Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Coach's Cage show. On this Wednesday night here, it's the postseason edition of the Coach's Cage as we completed the regular season last week. And we start with the first round sectional play Friday night. Chris Meeks has joined us now from the Rensselaer Central Bombers. Chris, good evening. How's it going?
Good. How are you? It's
doing really well.
Yeah, it's shocking when you say that our regular season's over.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like we just started, and we've done these interviews and stuff.
It's a short season, isn't
it?
when
you talk about the regular season over, I mean, finality has hit in terms of. But great thing in Indiana is we get to start the second season, and we all start from scratch, 0-0, and we're looking forward to that.
Well, let's go a little bit of recap of last week, who you played, score, and tell us a little bit about the game and who the stars were.
Yeah, we played the Tipton Blue Devils. It was a crossover game in the Hoosier Conference. So,
do you like those crossover games?
I do. I like playing somebody different. I do. So we hadn't seen them in 4 years, and as you can remember when they first came into the conference, us and them had a pretty darn good rivalry going. They are very much like us, a small school our size, a rural school. Great tradition, great pride in their football program, and it's we had some great games with them back over the years, so it was good to get back against them again. And next year they'll be on our schedule every year, starting next year. But so anyway, it was good to play them again, and we played very well and came away with a 33-0 win.
All right. Tell us who were some of the stars.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we got off to 8-0 lead at halftime, and I think everybody saw the weather situation coming in.
It was horrible.
Yeah, but our field's in pretty darn good shape, and it held good. So we don't have the grass or the turf fields like a lot of schools do. But our grass field has a nice crown. Water ran off of it. Got a little muddy, but it wasn't a mud bowl like we anticipated it could have been. Defense played very well. Easily our best performance of the year. We held Tipton to 0 points, so it was nice to get a shutout. We held them to minus 15 total yards for the game, and we also forced 4 turnovers. Our kids were popping. They were aggressive at the line of scrimmage and really got after it. Our pursuit was tremendous. So it wasn't just one guy making a tackle. We'd have 3, 4, 5 guys there making a tackle. So I would say defense was definitely a highlight. Diego Hernandez-Reyes had 7 tackles for us with 2 tackles for loss. Caden Doyle from his defensive end position had 11 tackles, 1 sack, and then 1.5 tackles for loss. And then our inside linebacker, Logan Metzger, had 6 tackles. But again, the whole defense was tremendous all night long. And then offensively, we had, again, 33 points. Diego Hernandez-Reyes had 28 carries for 156 yards and 4 touchdowns. And that's a pretty good performance on a soft field like we had the other night. Aaron Barco chipped in 50 yards rushing. And then Carter Ogborn had 2 carries for 43 yards and 1 touchdown. But again, our MVPs, I feel, for the night was our center, Ryan Kellner. He had perfect snaps all night long in those weather conditions.
That's saying something.
It is. And when, to prepare for that, one of the things we tried doing was taking a pan that you cook macaroni in and dumping water over the ball. And I'm sure there's more sophisticated ways of doing it, but that's how we did it. And so just getting the kids used to, snapping the ball, the quarterback catching the ball in the shotgun and handing balls off. So we felt like we did a good job preparing the kids for a wet ball, and we only had 1 turnover on the night in those conditions. So it starts with our center, and then also, too, our long snappers. So Graham Drone, he was out there doing the PAT snaps, and then Parker Northcutt was doing our punt snaps, and all 3 of those kids were tremendous. And as you know, every play when it comes to special teams or offensive play starts with our center and long snappers, and they were awesome.
All right. Well, we go into tournament play this week, round number 1. I'm going to read your sectional class 3A sectional 25. Top bracket: Twin Lakes 5-4 at Boone Grove 7-2. Calumet 3-6 at Hanover Central 9-0. West Lafayette 6-3 hosts River Forest 6-3, and Rensselaer Central 5-4 at Griffith 3-6. Your thoughts on that?
Number one, it's great to see somebody that we don't normally see. So, it's great to see Griffith again. We've played them 2 times, since I've been coach, and we're 0-2 against them. We lost a 21-18 game up there, and then we lost a 28-21 game here. Both of them good, hard-fought games. They have a rich tradition, great history. Their head coach is Phil Mason, known him forever. Coached at Andrean when they were very good, and coached at Michigan City until recently, and then he just came and took the Griffith job, trying to get that, rebuilt to where they used to be. They'll have 60 kids on their roster. They've got some great athletes. They're 3-5 or 3-6 coming in, but they've been in some very tough ball games. They lost a tough one to Munster, which we've been obviously studying film of all their games. So it's a team with a lot of athletes. They play hard, and they're going to get after it. So I think it's a great matchup for us. So we're looking forward to the challenge up there.
What are going to be the keys for the Bombers?
We have to keep doing what we're doing. I mean, our kids are playing with confidence now. They're playing well. Defensively, I think we've found our groove. We struggled early on defending the pass, and Coach Zacher made some changes, personnel changes and philosophical changes to adjust to our kids. And I think we found our true identity as a defense. So we want to keep playing well defensively, being strong in our special teams. Kyler Sigmund has been tremendous in the kicking and punting games. And then offensively, early on we were moving the ball well at the beginning of the season, but not finishing out drives with points. Now we are finishing out drives with points. So if we get all 3 of those phases working well together and play with confidence, I think it could be a good night for the Bombers.
How's your health? You okay?
Yeah, we got some kids dinged up a little bit, but Graham Drone has been nursing an ankle, which, we're very fortunate. We only have one kid with an ankle. But, I think talking to him tonight, he's almost back to 100%. So he'll be back out on the field for us Friday in some capacity. And then other than that, we're just aches and pains, ice, tape, and rest, and ibuprofen. And
typical end of the football season stuff. Yeah.
So, no, we're good physically. But I think even more important is mentally. Our kids are fresh. They're excited. They have felt our – one of the things I've preached, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing it, but we're young coming into this season. We got 2 14-year-olds starting on offense and, several sophomores, 15, 16-year-olds, and playing the likes of the Central Catholics and the West Lafayettes and the Kankakee Valleys and these teams. We've grown, and our kids sense it. They've seen us come together. You could just see the confidence growing every day in these kids. And, we are peaking playing our best football right now, and we are so excited to get this tournament started. It's a new season. When we look back, were there some games that we felt like we could have won? Yes, but at that time we weren't ready. Now I think we're ready, and I'm looking forward to seeing what these kids can do in the tournament.
7 o'clock start, I assume, right?
7 o'clock start. They have tremendous facilities up there, so hopefully we get a big crowd up there, and let's get this second season going. And, half the teams in Indiana are going to be hanging up their cleats Friday night, and I'm very confident this Bomber team won't be one of them.
Before I let you go, younger Bombers, are we all done now, or where are we at there?
Yeah, middle school finished. A lot of very good talent that we're looking forward to moving up the ranks. And then our flag football finished Sunday, and it was always fun to see them play their 6 games. And again, lots of young talent. I have alluded to the fact that next year we will be starting our youth tackle football program. So, more details will be forthcoming on that, but we'll be having it'll be 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th grade football. So we're looking forward to getting that going again, and that'll be fun times.
See, flag football is going to be an Olympic sport.
Should be.
Did you see that? They are.
Good. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but
it's baseball, softball. some other and flag football and 2 other sports are getting in.
Yeah, it's a fun sport. It's one that boys can play, girls can play, and it's a great sport, fun sport, and it's not tackle football, but yet it's still exciting.
Some elements of that anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it. Good luck Friday. All right.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot.
All right. Chris Meeks from the Rensselaer Thunder Bombers back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com after this.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our #1 priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a will of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals, increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman has been serving the Jasper County and surrounding area since 2009. Being involved in the area, Joe Goodeman has kept his interest in making sure he provides the best insurance for his clients. Whether you need life, car, home, business, farm and crops, or even renter's insurance, Agent Joe Goodeman will keep searching for the best policy for your valued investments. Call Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Joe Goodeman at 219-866-4694 or stop in at 2570 North McKinley Avenue in Rensselaer.
Shanley Construction, Pools, and Excavating has been improving area homes and businesses since 1973. Whether residential or commercial, they offer lawn care, installation of above-ground and in-ground pools, plus pole barn and new home construction. Shanley is your source for new driveways, parking lot expansions, as well as fence row and building site clearing. Start your project by calling Jim Shanley at 219-866-5955. Shanley, Rensselaer-based, family-owned. Call today.
Back on the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thecage.com. Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller with you tonight. We're live from Arnie's Pizza in Rensselaer, right across from St. Joseph's College. This guy's stomping ground for many a years. Jake West has joined us now, and you miss the old days over across the street?
I do. I talk to some of my friends from St. Joe often. I got Cody French and Brandon Good and Brent Midkiff. We talk daily pretty much. I was actually telling stories about St. Joe today at the end of class. We were just giggling and laughing about stuff, and I started telling stories about some stuff that happened there with football and whatnot. And it's nice to reminisce.
Sure, it is. It's too bad nothing's going on over there now. That's for sure. All right. Well, tell us the last game you played and a little bit about it.
Well, we played in a monsoon, I think just like everyone else around here. We played North Newton at North Newton, which ironically enough, that's my actual old stopping grounds. That's where I went I was there as a freshman, and I moved to South Newton. So there's a little bit. That place is a little special for the wrong reasons for me as well. So we went there and we defeated the Spartans 56-20. We played the JV the entire second half. So they scored their 20 points in the second half. I don't think they got a first down in the first half, something like that. It was 56-0, and the starters were unhappy. They wanted to keep playing. I said, no, you've done enough. Let the JV get some playing time. So, no, it was a wet one. We were efficient on offense and defense, and came out there with a win.
Tell us about some of the people who played well.
Well, Kevin Martinez played probably, I don't know, the most impressive half of football I've ever seen. He finished with 17 solo tackles and 3 assists in the first half.
Whoa. In the first half?
In the first half. He didn't play in the second half. The only thing he was on was like special teams. We left varsity special teams out there, which is fine. He recorded 9 tackles for loss, and he recorded 5 sacks. I believe 2 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries, or vice versa as well. We only ran 24 plays of offense in the first half. So the other 40-some-odd snaps, 45, 50, whatever it was, were on defense, and he was an absolute menace.
Man.
Yeah. But I mean, they're running read option and reading him, and because of the wet weather, they couldn't get the snap back or catch it cleanly. So the ball's on the ground, and you've got the read guy just unblocked off the edge. And he's a wrestler, so he's efficient with his tackles.
Sure.
Or, they're trying to run outside zone or sprint out or something. I don't know what it was. And that poor tackle couldn't block him. So, he's just making a move off the edge and going to make the tackle. And then the few times where they did actually hold on to the ball, it was wet, and he would go there and he would just throw, the old peanut punch in there and knock it out and turnover. So he played just an absolute freakish game. And then I asked him near the end of the first half, I was like, hey, you want to run the ball? And he's a quiet kid. And he just goes like, I don't know if you want me to. I was like, no, you're fine, buddy. I didn't think that was a yes. I guess that's a yes for him. I don't know. But no, yeah, he played just a freak game. It was wild. When we looked at the stats afterwards, I was like, no way, that's not real. And then we went back and looked, and I was like, oh my god, that is real.
Huh.
And then Jonathan Pearson had 11 carries for 123 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also contributed 10 tackles and a tackle for loss. Kobe Baylor completed 100% of his passes in the monsoon. We're not going to talk about how many it was, but he completed 100% of them for 8 yards.
Okay.
He had 4
but it's just one.
It was just one.
Okay.
For 4 carries and 62 yards and a touchdown. He also made 3 tackles. Aiden Donovan ran the ball 2 times in the second half for 42 yards. He also added 6 tackles in the second half there. Ephraim Bowles recorded 9 tackles and Colby Hathaway 5. So those are some of our big performers.
Okay. Well, now it's postseason.
It is postseason.
And before I let you talk about it, I'm going to run over your sectional. All right?
Go for it. I have not spent any time looking at it at all.
Sectional 43. That's the one you're in.
That is the one we're in.
At the top, Caston 1-8 plays at North White 9-0.
Mm-hmm.
Carroll of Flora 9-0 is at Tri-County 5-3.
Mm-hmm.
West Central 7-2 at Taylor 1-8.
Mm-hmm.
And Tri-Central 3-6 at Frontier 5-4. Your thoughts on that overall?
I feel like maybe not but I know I've talked to people about it. I think it's about time we just start seeding sectional play.
Can you do that?
I think so, pretty easily. I mean, there's some people who have said, okay, we'll go with the Sagarin rating. That's just a simple, unbiased rating. Mm-hmm. Well, the issue is to keep, so for example, we played North Newton. We were up 56-0 at halftime. We put the JV in. They scored 20 points on our JV, and we win by 36 instead of 50, whatever. Our Sagarin rating went down 4 points because of that.
So that
would entice teams to keep their varsity in longer,
right.
and run the score up on other teams in order to try and get better position.
That matters.
So you would prefer to not see that.
Right.
So obviously. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I would say just go off of record. Just go off of record and say, hey, your record is 9-0. And then if you have 2 9-0 teams, so North White and Carroll are 9-0, go to point differential. Simple enough. So Carroll, I believe, has a better point differential. They're 1. North White's 2. Simple enough. Does that fair? Does that seem fair?
You think that will ever happen?
I don't think so. It makes too much sense for it to happen. But no, I feel like, okay, and it's rare that I feel like I'm going to defend Pioneer here for a second because it just goes against a lot of what I stand for.
Sure.
But okay, so I'm in high school. Pioneer was number 2 in the state every single year I was in high school. Every single year. They didn't get past a sectional because the only team in the state that could beat them was Lafayette Central Catholic. And then guess what? They're in the same sectional.
In the same sectional.
And like there was one year where they played in the first round. CC beats them 20-0. The next closest game CC played in the entire playoff run, I believe, was like 38-0. So objectively, the state championship game happened at the first round of sectionals. Right. And I'm like, that's wrong. You shouldn't, like, for all we know, at 6A this year, Ben Davis and Brownsburg are 1-2, 1-3, 2-3, something like that. That could be a state championship game right there. That could be. Instead, they're playing in the first round.
Oh man.
And it's just like it just seems wrong because you have kids who work so hard for this and they have a good season and they don't get rewarded for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, everyone you only have one state champ. Yeah, that's correct. You can only have one state champ. But you run the table, you go 9-0. You deserve a chance to at least play in a regional.
Right.
Like that's pretty special. One thought I've had that's like really out there is I would almost see you take your half of the state and you take the top 4 teams in there by seed and you build the sectional around them. That's my thought.
Oh man.
Yeah. See, look, now we're thinking. Now
wow.
We're thinking. That they would the 1 seed would get to host all the way through to the championship, so your regular season means something.
Right.
So traveling isn't an issue for you, and you would just build the sectional around them based on geographically who's closest.
Man.
I should Falcons
you
needs to
should
give
lobby
me a call.
for that.
Falcons needs to give me a call. I've got some good ideas.
All right. You drew Carroll.
We drew Carroll.
Number 3 in the state.
Number 3.
Undefeated. Tell us about them. What makes them so good?
Well, the thing that makes them so good, first off, is their experience. They've got 20 seniors. They've got 20 seniors. Yeah, they've got depth. They've got a 60-man roster. 58. My bad.
Class A.
Class A. So they've got experience. They've got depth. Only 3 guys on their roster start both ways. So they're fresh as the game goes on. Which at the 1A level, we have 9 guys that start both ways.
Right.
So like it's usually they're playing teams like that, and they're fresher than them.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've watched them on film, and you get to the second half, and the other team is you can tell they're tired, they're beat up, they're starting to run to the end of their line,
right.
And all of a sudden Carroll's just coming out and hitting them even harder than they were at the start, because they're fresh.
Right.
So it's they've got that going for them. They've been in the weight room They've been in the weight room for 4 years. And they've also got a junior class of 14, so they've got 34 upperclassmen.
Wow.
That's hard to replicate.
Yes, it is.
So especially they have a tremendous football culture there. So they're experienced, they've got depth, and they're strong. They're also pretty athletic, and they're very aggressive and very disciplined. So if you were going to build a Midwestern football team in the image of something, it's a pretty good place to start. It makes sense they're number 3.
So what's the game plan against them?
Well, we have to stay true to what we do. We have to be efficient on third down in the red zone. Haven't heard that one yet.
Nope,
haven't heard that one yet. We have to stay ahead of the sticks. They're good enough in the box that if you get behind the sticks and let them kind of do their thing, you're going to be in for a rough one.
Right.
Third and 8 is not a great place to be versus them. 3rd and 3 is manageable, right? You can do that. 3rd and 5 even. Right. 3rd and 8 is not a great place to be.
No.
They're very athletic on the back end. It looks like they have a lot of willing tacklers.
And they probably play with confidence, I'm assuming.
I would play with confidence if I was them. I mean, dang, yeah. They're 9-0. Their one loss last year was to Adams Central, who's not too bad either.
Yeah.
So it's their 18-1? No, sorry, they won 12 games last year? Because it would have been so they're 21-1 over the last 2 years. I'd be pretty confident if I was 21-1.
It's nice when you're at school. I got to ride that.
Absolutely, because it's you just
talent.
You just build like they've had several really really good athletic classes come through back to back to back, and they're committed because you might have an athletic class that comes in and then doesn't work out or doesn't commit themselves to the process of actually getting better, because it takes what it takes to actually get better. And our kids kind of learned that this offseason of like this is what it takes to win 5 games, and so they go through that for 4 years. Now you're a senior. You've put all that time in. You've spent all that time in the weight room. You've been running the same system for a few years. You're winning. You've got support no matter where you look. You've got depth. Like what is it to be happy about?
How's the attitude of your ball club right now?
I think it's pretty high. When we understand that we are not confused at all what our role is in this game. We are the challenger. We are not the favorite. We get that.
Right.
But we also understand that because we're not the favorite, there's not really any pressure on us.
Right.
Our big thing is we want to go out. We have an opportunity to I jokingly said shock the world, and I was like, I don't know if people outside of Indiana care about Tri-County versus Carroll. I don't know if they do. But it's like go out and play the best game that you can, and give ourselves a chance at the end of the game to win it. And if the chips fall in our favor, then they fall in our favor, and we have one of the biggest upsets in state history, and we get to play another week. Or they don't, and we lose a tough game to a good team. Like there's no shame in losing to Carroll.
Right.
There's not. What matters to me is how do you present yourself? Because we've played 3 ranked teams this year. Well, this will be the 3rd ranked team we've played. We played West Central. We did not play well at all.
Right.
We did not represent ourselves well. We did not play to a level to our standard even remotely close. Okay, so we play North White later in the year. We come out on fire. Couldn't do anything wrong. And then every single, I think, linebacker and DB I had got hurt. And suddenly Eli Quaisbarth was untackleable. Right? So we came out and we represented ourselves well. We played to our standard really, really well for about 15 minutes. And we were up 22-7. Okay, so take that, bottle that, now get a full game of it.
Right.
So hopefully we keep building on that, and we show that here. So attitudes are high.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'm
good
excited.
luck. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right.
You guys won't be there, right?
We're
1-1. We're 50% with you guys.
You are. That's true. I don't want to talk to Mark about that.
He might be a little upset.
Yeah. All right, Jake. Thanks a lot for coming over.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Go Cavs.
Jake West from the Tri-County Cavaliers. Back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KG right after this.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Bob Kurtz back on the Coach's Cage on 3KGthecage.com. Game you saw last Friday night, the battle for the Midwest Conference Championship, and North White defeats West Central at West Central 20-18, is that?
20-18.
missed extra points, right?
Yeah.
That was the difference.
It was 2 point. Both teams went for 2-point conversions every time, and they made one, and we didn't make any of ours. And that was the difference.
Looking back on those 3 2-point conversions, would you change anything? Did you have the right play called, or did you just not execute? Or
I think what we called, Coach Neely and I, we discussed it as we were going into the play, like what are we going to do here if we score? And both times we got the score, and in that fourth quarter we were making our comeback, and what we called were plays to go to the outside, and the reason we went outside on it is we went away from our tight end, because on our tight end side, North White was lining up 4 or 5 guys over there, and then the other side there was nobody there. We didn't execute plays correctly. We missed some blocks, and it's unfortunate. But we had numbers that when we were looking at it, that's why we decided to call those plays. And it's just one of those things that happens. Unfortunately, we were 0 out of 3 on 2-point conversions on Friday night. Other weeks during the year, we've been 7 out of 7.
And when you're equally matched, something like that is the difference in the game there.
Yeah.
Anyway, tale of 2 halves. You didn't play well in the first half, but you played great in the second half. So take us through the game.
Yeah, the first quarter, they got the ball, and they went down the field, and they had a good drive going, and then we were able to stop them inside the 5-yard line. They took probably about 7-8 minutes off the clock, but we stopped them.
Wasn't that the 1-yard line?
Yeah. Stopped them at they were started out 1st and goal, and then we stopped them right at the 1, and then we put together a good drive. Started out there, and we got out to about the 45-yard line, and we were at a 4th and I think it was less than 5 is what we were at. So we were going to call one of our freeze plays, and one of our guys jumps when we were trying to get them to jump, so backed us up 5 yards. We punted, and then we didn't have a good punt, so they ended up getting the ball at 50. And then their next drive there took us into the second quarter, and we stopped them inside the 20 again. There's a 4th down stop, and we stopped them, and then we started moving the ball, and then we got a couple huge penalties called on us, and that backed us way up. And then we again had an opportunity for a punt that we were looking at that it ended up being, I think it was like a 4th and 10 or so, somewhere in there, and we had numbers on an edge that we went ahead and we called in the fake, and we didn't block it. So we got tackled for loss, and then they got good field position around our 20, and they ended up scoring. The next drive, I believe that was the next drive, that we were in a motion, a flat motion across the formation, and when the ball got snapped, it just hit our wing's leg.
Oh, man.
And they ended up recovering it. So they got a second possession where they were inside it might have been inside the 20 again. It was definitely inside the 30. So they had 2 quick possessions there, 2 quick scores, and they're up 14-0 at that point, and that's where it stayed until we got to halftime. But for the most part, when we had the ball, we were driving it. We were until we were making mistakes for ourselves. It wasn't something that they were just number-wise, they were beating us, or just physically they were beating us. It was we were making plays, but then we had a penalty. We had false start. We had something like that. And so that's what we told them at halftime, is like, we're doing good things. We just need to finish some things, especially offensively. And then defensively, what we ended up doing, and we had done a decent job overall, slowing them down. I think first half they ended up running for like 130 yards, and they didn't attempt to pass, so they had about 130 yards at halftime, which wasn't horrible considering what they had done throughout the rest of the year. But we decided we were going to sell out and stop the run, and so we changed defense a little bit. We brought in an extra linebacker, took out a corner. I brought our safety down to have him play corner, and so we had 4 linebackers then. Inside, we had a 5 front on the front line, so we had 9 guys that were in the box. And it was basically we were daring them to try to throw it in the rain on Friday night. And so we got the ball to start the second half. We go down, we score. And it was pretty good drive. It was a time-consuming drive, but we marched it down there and executed, and we got it to 14-6. And that was third quarter. As we end the third quarter, we stopped them. We forced them to punt. In total, in the third and fourth quarter, we held them to negative 13 yards rushing.
You did a good job on Quasar.
Yeah, what we were trying to do, it worked. So in the entire game, they ran up for 121 yards when they've been averaging huge numbers rushing the ball. So we stopped them. We got the ball back. We're making a drive at the end of the third, beginning of the fourth. We score. It's 14-12 with, I think it was like 10 minutes to go, something like that. And then they completed their one pass of the night.
Yeah.
They ran a seam with a tight end right down the middle, and our linebacker was being aggressive on the run and went right past him. They made about an 8-yard pass right over our linebacker's head, and right down the middle he went for 63 yards. So that was their one play passing that they had the entire night that they connected on, and it was their entire offense in that second half. And then, so at that point, we're down 20-6 or 20-12 at that point. We had another turnover on our next possession. We forced a turnover from them. Then we were starting to drive the down, and we scored with, I think it was like around 3 minutes, 3 minutes to go in the game. We make it 20-8. And then, unfortunately, we didn't make the 2-point, and we used our timeouts trying to stop them, but they got one last first down, and that was the game. They were able to take knees then and end it out.
Disappointing after the game?
Yeah, it was. A lot like the WinMac game. All the guys, like these are two games that we were looking forward to, that we've been preparing for, that we when we do all the off-season stuff, these were the games that we were gearing up for. And both of them, the first half, like first quarter was a back and forth type thing, and then the second quarter, in both of them, we gave up 14 points, and we were down 14-0 at halftime in both those games. And then the second half, we came out and we're getting after it, and we dominated. I thought both of the second halves, especially Friday night, I thought we really controlled the game in that second half. North White, I mean, they're a good team. They're 9-0. They're conference champs. They did a good job in that first half of capitalizing on things, and then that second half, I just thought we were doing a lot of good things. And unfortunately, I guess you could say we ran out of time, one of those types of things. But we needed to start sooner. We needed to start with that urgency that we did in the second half, and I think it would have been a different game. But kids played hard, and that's what we ask them to do every week, is just play hard.
Who played well for you?
Connor Marlatt played really well.
He had a touchdown called back.
He did have a touchdown called back. That is correct. That is another one that in a 2-point game, we did have a touchdown called back. There was a 68-yard run by Connor. But Connor had all three of our touchdowns on the night. Had 70-something yards rushing. I think like 76, 78, somewhere in there. Jacob Pilarski had 70-something yards rushing as well. So those guys played well. Our wings played well. Spencer and Austin. Line played well. We moved the ball. We were getting 4 or 5 yards typically on a play. So those guys played really well. Defensively, again, we had a lot of guys flying around doing good things for us. Draver Uriel, who has led us all year with our defense and tackling, and he did a really nice job as well. Christian Hughes did a nice job. So we had a lot of guys just doing what they're supposed to and playing hard. And everyone was disappointed after the game, because we know that of what we put into this, and it's just we were really looking forward to trying to get that 4th conference championship in school history, and the first time ever back-to-back. So now we got to go back and we got to start all over again. But again, a lot of good plays were made by our guys, a lot of good effort, and it's just one of those things that's unfortunate. Is like the WinMac game. It was a hard-fought game. So was this one, a hard-fought game between us and North White, and it's just one of those. It's kind of unfortunate that one team had to lose, because both teams were playing really hard.
All right, first round sectional is this Friday. I'm going to read like I've been reading. Sectional 43, Caston 1-8 at North White 9-0. Carroll Flora 9-0 at Tri-County 5-3. West Central 7-2 at Taylor 1-8, and Tri-Central 3-6 at Frontier 5-4. So, what are your thoughts on this sectional?
For us, I thought it was a really good draw. We're on the opposite side of Carroll and North White, so that's a positive. That's a good news for us. With those two both being 9-0, you never really want to play a team you've played before right away in the sectionals. So that's always nice to stay away from that. With that sectional, there's 4 of those teams that we play already. So
Right.
It's nice that we didn't draw one of those, especially if we would have drawn if we would have drawn like North White and played them back-to-back weeks. That would have been a hard.
That
one.
wouldn't have been good.
Some of the other ones, like Frontier was 2 weeks ago, so that's again kind of one of those it's really close. But Tri-County was early in the year, Caston was early in the year, so those wouldn't have been, I guess, necessarily as bad. Like last year, we played Caston in sectionals first round after we played them in week 1. But we drew Taylor. We played Taylor last year in the second round of sectionals. It's a team that I didn't realize it's 75 miles away from the school, though. Is
that right?
That's just one way, yeah. So
a little bit of a trip.
Gonna be driving a bit. So, but we're going to Taylor.
What town is that located in?
It is southeast of Kokomo.
Taylor is the name of the town?
I believe so. Yeah. I'm not really sure where. I've been to the school once, and it was not in a town. It was near it, but they've got nice facilities. They're part of that county put field turf, and all the schools in the county. So. Like Kokomo got it, and then Taylor got it afterwards.
So Pulaski County to do that.
Well, yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? But I like our grass field.
It held up pretty well the other night.
Yeah,
I thought.
We could always have some fixes on it, but for overall, I prefer a grass field probably over those field turf ones. A lot of studies coming out lately. They're saying that grass fields are better for you.
Or is that right?
Yeah. So, all those colleges and NFL teams that have put all that in. Apparently, it causes more injuries. So, interesting thing on some of those things. But Taylor does have a field turf. They've got some athletic kids. They did last year as well. Their line, they've got some big guys that we're going to have to make sure that.
Did you play them last year?
Yeah, second round of sectional.
Oh, okay.
Last year we were able to beat them 40-0. We played at home, so that was nice. But this year it's a new year, so we're going to have to make sure that we don't just say, well, we beat them last year, so it'll be easy again, or the same result's going to happen. So we got to be, again, this week we've had good practices yesterday and today. We do have fall break this week. So tomorrow and Friday we are off, so that's when we were getting on the guys about making sure that we try to keep as normal of a routine as possible.
You practice at the same time tomorrow?
We are practicing at the same time as we will be for school. But we've got lay coaches, so I mean, if we go early, then they can't be there. So we are practicing at the same time, but we did get on the kids about you need to get up by like 9:30. You can't just stay up all night and then wake up like at 2:30 and like roll into practice, because then we're not gonna have good practices. So and then the same thing on Friday. We can't just wake up at 2:30 and then be at the school at 3 and then get on a bus for an hour and a half, because that's not going to be good for us. So hopefully the kids pay attention to that and we're ready to go. But Taylor, they're going to have some athletic kids. They typically do. Their line, from the looks of the roster, they've got really good size. They've got like 2 or 3 guys that are over 300. A couple other guys are well over 200. So compared to us, that's really big, because we don't have size like that. So if we run into them, they're going to block us because they're big. So we're going to have to use.
Well, don't run into them.
Yeah, that's what we tell our guys. So it makes sense, right? Like if you got a really big guy, don't run into him. Like use your speed and go around him. So hopefully we're able to do that. Use our hands and create separation and cause some disruption.
And make some 2-point conversions this week.
That would be excellent, right? So defensively, it looks like they're probably going to be. They called a 3-4, but they've got the outside backers walk down, so it's going to be a 5 front, just like what we saw last week against North White. We saw it against Frontier the week before that, and we saw it against Winnemac the week before that. So we've seen a lot of 5 front here lately. So we should be pretty good at blocking it by now. Hopefully.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. I think our guys are ready for it. Again, it's just one of those things. We got it with fall break being here. There's just weird things going on. Like Monday, we had a half day, and so it's been kind of a chaotic week so far. So we just got to make sure we're just mentally focused in and ready to get after it and do the things that we can do really well, and try to limit the things they do well.
Younger Trojans, you had a big day last week,
Yes,
right?
we did. We'll start with the middle school first. They completed their season last night with a win over North White. They ended up winning 22-6, and they finished the year 5-3. They finished 4-1 in conference, so that's really well. It's been, I can't remember in the last really 10 to 13 years where they've had a winning record at the middle school. So this is, I thought I was really pleased with what they were able to do this year, and hopefully that's a good sign as we go forward into the future. The Youth League, on Sunday they got to go down to Lucas Oil Stadium for, I don't know what the day exactly was called, but they got to play down there. So we had our 3rd and 4th grade group. They played against Frontier, and they were able to win against them.
What a thrill that must have been.
And they got to play. What they did is they had from the 40 in on one side of the field playing, and then 40 in on the other side playing. So there's 2 different games going on at a time, but you got to go down there and sit on the the nice seats that are
probably some people have never been there before.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's probably a lot of them. But the kids, they got to go down there. The cheerleaders for the youth group got to go down there. So my daughter was down there cheering, so I got to watch her, and that was fun to do.
How neat of an experience was that?
Yeah, it was great. Because typically on Saturday mornings I have other radio shows to go to, so I don't get to go to those games very often. There's one that I was able to make it to that we hosted in September, so this is the second time I got to watch her do that, so that was fun, and she had a great time doing it. But then afterwards, our 5th and 6th grade team played, and they also played Frontier, and they won, and when they won, they finished the year undefeated. So that was great news for them, and especially both groups had a lot of success. Then our K through 2 played flag, and they had success. So this being our first year of ever doing this league, I thought it was a tremendous success. Hopefully that all that continues to grow, and we get more kids involved, and those kids end up staying with it and knowing what to do by the time they get to middle school and then high school, and we can get things rolling.
Feeder program.
Yeah, it's great to have. I thought the entire league did a tremendous job. The coaches, the West Central Youth League, I thought they did a great job setting the thing up, and they had to ask a lot of questions, and they wanted to get coaches, like the high school coaches' opinions, which I thought was great, because we want them to learn these things, and that way when they get to us, they're second nature essentially.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I thought again they just did all the people involved did a tremendous job of getting it organized and running it, and then again the kids had success, they had fun, and that's what we wanted to see out of that.
Go get them Friday, all right?
All right, well, thank you.
All right, Mark Hall from the West Central Trojans, back with more of the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thekage.com right after this.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning. Family owned since 1991.
Shanley Construction, Pools, and Excavating has been improving area homes and businesses since 1973. Whether residential or commercial, they offer lawn care, installation of above-ground and in-ground pools, plus pole barn and new home construction. Shanley is your source for new driveways, parking lot expansions, as well as fence row and building site clearing. Start your project by calling Jim Shanley at 219-866-5955. Shanley, Rensselaer-based, family-owned. Call today.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Bob Kurtz back on the Coach's Cage on 3kgthecage.com. If you aren't catching us live, you can go to our website, and check us out anytime on our archive page there. So feel free to stop by anytime and watch the Coach's Cage. Brad Beavis has joined us now from the South Newton Rebels. Good to see you, Brad. How you doing?
Good evening.
Finished up the regular season at home Friday night, and a overtime game against Frontier.
Yeah, got an overtime game. Started off in a frenzy. We took the opening kickoff, our opening drive, and went down and scored, and kicked off to Frontier. And first play from scrimmage, they went down and scored. So both of us got our extra point tries, I guess you should say. So it was 8-8, and that's what it was at halftime. So it's a fast start, and then it kind of settled down in the muck, and our defense played pretty well for the most part. Like I said, we gave up the first play of scrimmage for about 75-plus yard touchdown, and then Frontier didn't score again against our defense until overtime. So we threw a pick six in the third quarter for them to go up 14-8, and we tied the ball game late in the fourth quarter, 14-14, went into overtime, and we both scored touchdowns, and we missed our two-point conversion, and they kicked their extra point to win.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was really exciting. No, it ended up not being really exciting, but it was very thrilling last 4 minutes of the game and into overtime. So it was a.
Did you have a chance to win on a 2-point conversion?
No, they won the coin toss and elected to go on defense first. So we got the ball first in the overtime period. We scored on our very first play. They stopped us on our 2-point try, so we're up 6 points. They get their drive, and they went negative yards. I think they false started on our very first play and got negative yards from there on out. It was 4th and 16, 4th and 17.
Oh, no.
And just one of our guys didn't recognize a guy coming out of the backfield, misses coverage, and threw it over the top of him and scored a touchdown and tied up. And like I said, they kicked an extra point to win the game. So
that's got to be a heartbreaker.
It was. But, like I said, it was a very exciting last 4 minutes. So we just didn't play well enough to win. We had some good plays, and offensively we moved the ball a little bit here and there, but we just had too many bad snaps and killed our drives, and we couldn't punt the ball. We have a really good punter. David Van Wienen's a really good punter, in my opinion. And with the ball being so wet, it didn't go anywhere. Just at one time it looked like a beach ball being kicked. It just water went everywhere. We couldn't get out of our end of the field a lot of times. So just one of those games. Both teams, Frontier likes to throw the ball more than we do. And they had to end up running the ball, and we like to have our little short passing game and stuff, but we ended up, running the ball and stuff, and you don't want to do too much handoff because of the weather, so it just turned into a game plan that neither one of us probably preferred. So that was very interesting on defense. So it was a very strategic game, very back and forth game. Both teams played really hard, and like I said, we just didn't execute on enough plays to win, and Frontier did. So
who played well for you?
Evan Krug, of course, played well again. Lucas Boguski, one of his biggest contributions is he can really stretch the defense horizontally. We get him on our sweeps, and we get him on our power read play where he's going wide, and it's a read between he and Evan. And with the way that the field was playing, the way they were able just to come up because the passing was as much as a threat, kind of took him out of that game. Defensively, I thought our whole defense played really well. All across the board. Like I said, when you're shut out a team basically in the first play and overtime, you play pretty well as a unit. So it's across the board. Esteban Sessom, Bo Adair, Alex Toigo all up front played really well. Cade Martin. Lyle Harrington as a freshman has really started to play really good middle linebacker for being as undersized as he is. He came up and had a couple really good licks on the running back just coming forward, which is something impressive just because he's such an undersized kid playing that position. David Van Wienen at times played really well. There's times I wish I think he could have done a little bit better. We've talked about that this week, but overall, he played a very good game. Then our secondary, like in that overtime, they threw 4 straight passes actually, and we defended 3 of them really well, and like I said, 1 of them we didn't. So just all across the board, I thought defense played well. Offensively, our line, like I said, we started our 11th guy last week. On the offensive line, it's just a tough group to gel. So we're still doing some growing pains there. So hopefully we can just get a little bit better with some consistency this week, and we can play better.
All right. Postseason, I do with every coach. I'm going to read your sectional. You're in Class A, sectional 41. Bowman Academy 1-5 at South Newton 3-6. Pioneer 5-4 at North Judson 5-4.
Those teams aren't very good at all.
Triton 6-3 at North Newton 0-9, and Culver 0-9 at South Central of Union Mills 3-6.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
It's a very competitive section. I mean, you got some traditional powers there. We got a couple teams that are ranked or receiving votes, but the records don't look that impressive. But Pioneer Judson's a really interesting game. They played last week.
Did they really?
Yeah, they played last. So they're switching, just like playing like a home and home the last 2 weeks. So I think they were at Pioneer last week.
So playing back-to-back weeks, huh?
Back-to-back weeks, and like I said, they're switching. So I mean, they're not even playing the same venue. So it's kind of a cool thing, and they're both ground and pound teams. So I'm sure that's going to be a pretty exciting game, and 2 tradition-rich teams. The bottom side of that, South Central's really came on. We played them last year. And they were down a lot. They had some young kids. Some things happened there. But they kind of come on this year, and they're a tough team. And then Triton is down there as well. So, I mean, it's just going to be a tough sectional. We drove Bowman, which we've never played before.
I heard about their escapades at Tri-County.
Yeah. But they kind of remind me a lot of like Lake Station. They got some kids that can play. It's just not – they're not all on the same page, doesn't look like. And but they can do some things if we don't take them seriously or we don't play disciplined football. Their quarterback looks very athletic, and they got some other kids that can make some plays. So we definitely got to be focused and disciplined and do our thing and just take care of business. But with somebody that's never played before, so that's going to be kind of interesting just because we don't have any take on them or their kids.
Now, they didn't play a complete schedule? They
did not. They've had some injuries. That's one with the Tri-County game. I know that they had a shortened game because of injuries. They didn't feel like they could go. Yep, they couldn't feel like they could go any further. I think they've had that happen once before. So it's just one of those programs that's low numbers, and when you get to that point, you got to think about the safety of the kids and all those type of things. So not a full schedule, but we got a couple films on them. So we got them broke down and feel like we got a good game plan, and we've had a really good week of practice.
I was going to say, how's the attitude of the Rebels?
This has probably been our best week of practice. Monday was a little slow. We had some guys miss. But the last 2 days, we've practiced very well. I mean, I think our intensity is pretty good. Our kids seem focused and seem like they still want to be there, so that's always a good thing to get the postseason, that they want to be there.
Absolutely. Well, go get them, all right?
Yep, we'll do our best. Hopefully be back talking to you about a win next week. All right.
Brad Beavis from the South Newton Rebels. Back and talk with Kirk Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars right after this.
In agriculture, preparation is important. Dedication is you deciding what to plant and then asking what it will take for a good crop. How much work will it take to produce the final crop? In sports, preparation is vital in becoming the best you can be. Dedication is a well of achievements for a winning desire. Corbett Farms encourages everyone to do their best by having a winning spirit, attitude, and achievement. Your positivity will make a difference. Corbett Farms is proud to sponsor high school sports.
Meet you at Arnie's, Rensselaer's go-to pizza, and so much more. Pizza, sandwiches, burgers are here. Don't forget about dessert. Wings, cheese sticks, garlic bread too. Arnie's pizza menu has something for everyone. Dine in or carry out in the best pizza in town. Located across from St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer. Call 219-866-9999 and meet you at Arnie's.
Reinforcements Designs is a full-service graphic design, screen printing, and sign shop. They offer logo designs, screen printing, banners, signs, vehicle lettering and graphics, airbrushing, vinyl letterings, digital printed graphics, freehand engraving, and more. 37 years of design and graphics, Reem Bontrager will help you come up with a customized project of your ideal or plan. Just ask. Give Reinforcements Design a call at 219-866-8626 for your next graphic design project.
Working with our customers has been Kentland Bank's trademark for 87 years. We're dedicated to making your visit a lasting one, and helping you achieve your goals is our number one priority. With 5 locations, Kentland Bank offers all loans needed for today's businesses and families, including car loans, mortgages, agriculture, and commercial loans. We're here to make your busy life less hectic by offering online and mobile banking, bill pay, and P2P payments. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to the Coach's Cage on 3KG, thecage.com. We're here every Wednesday at Arnie's in Rensselaer, right across from St. Joseph's College. And it's the postseason edition of the Coach's Cage tonight. We're talking a little bit about last week's regular season finale, and then concentrating mainly on the first week of sectional play. Kirk Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars has joined us. Kirk, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. Had to hit another roadblock.
I went up that way the other day.
Yeah, the intersection's over or blocked off now where the train goes across 231, so I had to kind of venture into town.
You got 2 of them to go through.
But somehow I ended up back downtown on 231, so it all ended up by the courthouse there.
Yeah.
So I recognize that building. So, yeah, I got here.
All right. Played the Munster the last game of the year. Was the score, and tell us about the game.
Well, that's disappointing. You know, we were on a nice 3-game run there, and we were playing well, and things were looking like they were trending in the right direction. And, you know, all week, getting ready for Munster. Munster runs a offensive set, similar to what you'd see if you ever watch any of the service academies. They got the double wing,
right,
and they run a lot of option, but mostly the fullback. And I just didn't like, their offensive lines in a 4-point stance. They fire out low, and they're very physical up front. And there was just something about it. I didn't like the matchup. I didn't like, how everything was shaken out. So it turns out that I was kind of right. Friday night we didn't stop their offense very effectively. They had a 21-6 lead, at halftime, and we go in the locker room, make some adjustments, come out in the second half, and we got a turnover. I believe it was early in the fourth quarter. We got a turnover. It was an option pitch, and they fumbled the pitch, and we got it. So we did get a couple stops, in the second half, and we fought and battled and took the lead. Took the lead 24-21.
Did you really?
Yeah, took the lead 24-21. And then that was in the fourth quarter, and then they drove down and scored, and then we get the ball. I think it was like 4 minutes remaining in the game. We get the ball.
You were behind, what, 28-24?
Yeah, it was 28-24 at the time. We get the ball, and we were in the power eye. We were in the power eye pretty much the entire second half, just, gutting it out and getting our physical running game going, and it was working.
Well, the weather kind of dictated a lot of that, though, right?
Well, yeah, the weather kind of dictated. I'm not blaming the weather for the outcome or excuses, any of that. But yeah, the weather did kind of dictate our play calling a little bit and our offensive set, and we were successful at it. Marco Castro had 30 carries for 320 yards. I mean, he had a good night. A couple touchdowns. So we were moving the football. We were scoring. It was effective. In our last series, we're marching down, and we've got all of our timeouts. Things are looking good. We're managing the clock. We get down inside, it's down around like the 5-yard line with under a minute to go. I mean, we're in good shape, and we fumbled it.
Oh.
And they got on it, and that was the game. So, you go from feeling that everything that has happened tonight, we're still going to win this game, and hopefully learn something from it. But
slips right through your hands.
We ended up, literally and figuratively, slipped right through our hands. So, we fell short, disappointing, because, that was an important game. It was a conference game, and a way to finish the year with a winning record heading into playoffs and all the positives that we were talking about last week kind of they didn't vanish, but it just kind of made, tripped and fell a little bit, and we just got to get the train back on the tracks and keep going.
All right. Well, this week, sectional week number 1.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to read like I do every coach here. You're sectional. You're in Class 4A, sectional 17.
Mm-hmm.
At the top, it's Hobart 7-2 at New Prairie 7-2. Gary West 6-3 at Kankakee Valley 4-5. Bottom half of the bracket, East Chicago Central 1-8 at Highland 3-6. And then Culver Academy 3-6 at Lowell 4-5. Your thoughts on that overall?
Well, if I was New Prairie or Hobart, I'd be a little ticked off.
Are they the two favorites?
Well,
yeah?
When you look at records and just the season they've had, you got to look at those two as the favorites in the sectional right now. The way things look, and they draw each other in the first round, so one of those is going to be eliminated right off the bat. So,
right.
We're sitting right underneath them in the upper part of the bracket. So if we can get by West Side, it'll set up either home against New Prairie or on the road at Hobart. So, you don't have to be better than somebody. You just got to be better than them that night.
Sure.
That's if we're fortunate enough to play one of those two teams, that's how we're going to look at it. We're just going to prepare well and give it our best shot. Because we played Hobart. We were behind a little bit, but we clawed back in the game. It was a close game. What was that, 53-48, I think. Week 5, maybe, week 4 or 5.
Good defense, that game.
Yeah, defensive battle. But, Hobart's a different team now, so are we. So, we'll just play whoever we play, But, like I said, right now the focus is on West Side and winning the round 1 game.
Tell us about Gary West.
Well, they're big, they're fast, they're physical, they're very athletic, and they pose some challenges for us. So, like for example, they do feature a physical running game, which we didn't show an ability to stop on a consistent basis last week. I mean, it's a different scheme, different philosophy, but still, they got some big boys up front. It's going to be plowing holes and
they're 6-3 too.
And yeah, so. We've definitely got our work cut out for us this week, and their defense, they fly around and they hit and they're physical, and they can make up for a lot of mistakes, with their athleticism and their speed. So, we don't have that luxury. So, it's going to be, a battle of two teams, and maybe different philosophies, different type athletes, but
what's going to be the one key for KB?
For us, I think a huge key will be getting off to a fast start and making some good things happen early, gaining confidence, taking care of the football, tackling well, with their speed and athleticism.
Right.
Tackling will be at a premium because if they get loose, we're not going to catch them. So, those things, just like I said, fast start, take care of the football, tackle well, and just be fundamentally sound. A solid kicking game. If they have a weakness, it's probably in the kicking game.
Right.
And it's mostly, just inability to kick the ball effectively. So, we got to press our advantages there and have that turn in our favor. But, if we don't get the job done defensively and if we don't take care of the football offensively, we're not going to be able to make some of those advantages matter. So, it's up to us just to play our kind of football that we're capable of playing and stay focused on our fundamentals and our techniques and our effort, and just attack get out there with confidence and do what we're capable of doing.
How's the attitude of your ball club this week?
Well, yesterday's practice was a little sluggish, not bad, just a little. We like to see them with a little bit more enthusiasm than they showed yesterday. Today was a very good practice, so we'll see what tomorrow brings and. Ultimately, is that a good enough to prepare us for the challenges Friday night will bring?
Starting over, right?
Yeah. Second season, everybody's 0-0, so O's a letter, 0 and 0. Excuse me.
You might as well go 1-0 then.
Yeah,
right?
well, if you can go 1-0 every week, you're going to do pretty good. So that's kind of the focus.
All right, Kirk, appreciate you coming down.
Well, I was just glad I was able to get here.
It's an adventure every week. So.
Well, what is it, 20 miles, and there's 2 detours? something,
something's not right.
the travel gods are working against me.
Yeah. All right, we appreciate it. Good luck. Okay.
Well, thanks for having us on your show.
All right, Kirk Kennedy from the Kankakee Valley Cougars back to wrap things up with John Ewing from the North Newton Spartans right after this.
Pulver Psychological Services offers psychological counseling, consultation, and assessment. Locally owned and operated, Pulver Psych focuses on solutions for the community and serves as support for individuals, families, and organizations. Whether you're in need of personal, family, or success counseling, Pulver Psychological Services can help you reach your life goals. Increase work satisfaction, have better relationship compatibility, improve sports performance. Get in touch with Pulver Psychological Services by visiting pulverpsych.com.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
High-quality, personalized dental service is what they do at Hillcrest Dental. For over 40 years, generations have relied on Hillcrest Dental for beautiful, healthy smiles. Dr. John Ayler and Dr. Jack Drone look forward to seeing you for your next dental visit. For information or to set your appointment, call 219-866-7117. That's 219-866-7117. Or visit hillcrestdental.net. Hillcrest Dental is a proud sponsor of all high school athletics.
24/7 Club Fit is a 24-hour keycard accessed fitness center located in downtown Rensselaer. The 8,000 square foot facility offers free weights, weight machines, and a large variety of cardio equipment. We also offer free aerobics classes. 24/7 Club Fit offers 6-month contracts starting as low as $25 per month for students, those 55 years and older, and there are no sign-up or keycard fees. We also participate in the Silver Sneakers program. Call 219-866-0033 or contact us on Facebook. 24/7 Club Fit, where time is no excuse.
Back on the postseason edition of the Coach's Cage Show, Bob Kurtz and Scotty Miller from Arnie's. We appreciate Arnie's providing the food and drinks for our coaches here each week. Couldn't do it without them. We love them to death, that's for sure. John Ewing has stepped in now from the North Newton Spartans. And, John, thanks for coming over. I know you had a busy night, but I appreciate it. And how you doing?
We're doing good. Yeah, had sectional dinner tonight, got the team together, and hope it's not the last one we have, but that's the way this state works. So we're excited to get to week 10 and start 0-0 and get into when it actually counts.
Tell us a little bit about the Tri-County game.
Yeah, so Tri-County came out and they did exactly what we expected them to do. They were going to run the rock at us, and it was ISO right, ISO left, and Pearson's he's a really good running back, and we don't want to take anything away from any of their guys, but we didn't play our best game, and we know it. We left too much meat on the bone as far as missed tackles and a couple of blown assignments, especially on the outside. And then they scored their first 2 touchdowns and they still had less than 35 yards of offense. We gave them a short field. We had a couple of things planned and the weather didn't help us out on those, and I kind of stuck to it a little late or a little longer than I should have, and that's on my end. Giving up a short field on the first 2 possessions isn't ever a good strategy, just in case anybody out there is wondering. So, we got down quick, which has kind of been our story. We haven't really been able to answer the bell in the first quarter. I was really proud of our guys. The way that rain came down on Friday, that was a really, I wouldn't say it was a hard rain, but it was a really steady rain the whole way through the game.
The wind had a lot to do with it too there.
And absolutely. Our guys, we practiced with a wet ball a few times this year in a couple of situations, and I think it was the Saturday game we had up at South Bend Clay. We weren't sure about the weather, and it ended up being gorgeous, but we practiced with a wet ball that week, and we practiced with a wet ball this past week, and we're practicing with a wet ball this week. And it's one of those things, you can always practice with it, but until you get in game speed and, you know, bodies are flying around and the seconds are ticking off the clock and, you know, your emotions get to you and all that stuff, it's really hard to simulate. And we definitely struggled with it. You know, we went back to having some bad snaps and a couple of drop snaps and a couple of, you know, bad handoffs that just didn't get into place where they're supposed to. And, you know, I'm not going to sit here and attribute all that to the weather. You know, a lot of it, we got to take onus for us and realize that it's our mistakes and we got to own those. But the weather definitely played a role in that game. And our guys it's their first time for a lot of them playing in a rain game and experiencing that. We haven't really even had rainy practices.
Right.
So it's a difficult situation. Now, on the other side, Tri-County had the same situation. That it's not like it rained on our side of the field and not theirs. And they played through the adversity a little better than we did for sure. You know, and then in the second half, we were able to kind of answer the bell. And, you know, I've said it a bunch. We're a really young, inexperienced roster. You look at the second half, though, when kind of the experience levels are the same and the age of the rosters are really close. And we were able to do some stuff in the second half. We were able to put 3 touchdowns on the board, 1 late, and kind of move the ball at a really steady pace. And we feel really good about how that second half ended, moving into the next week.
It is new season, postseason round, and like I'm doing with every coach, I'll read the sectional that you're in. Class A, sectional 41. It's Bowman Academy 1-5 at South Newton 3-6. Pioneer 5-4 at North Judson 5-4. Triton 6-3 at North Newton 0-9, and Culver 0-9 at South Central Union Mills 3-6. What are your thoughts there overall?
Yeah, so we had a couple of we were really pulling for Bowman and Culver and thought that we could see those teams and had a really good chance. We've seen Culver in film, and we've seen Bowman in film, and I liked how we matched up to both of those teams just in trades with those schools right throughout the season. So we were really pulling for those. We got Triton, who it's hard not to put them as the best team in the conference or in our sectional. The good news is we drew them at home, so they've got a long drive ahead of them. They're a really good football team, but anytime you get a team on a Friday, and I'm pretty sure it's fallen into their fall break, so they're off of school on Friday too, just like we are. But you get them on a long drive, on a break, and you never really know how that first week's going to go sometimes. I've seen some really crazy stuff happen in sectionals in my time. This is my 12th year coaching, and obviously played all 4 years of high school, and I think back to this situation we're in. When I was a senior at Harrison, we didn't win a game all year. We go into sectionals and we beat McCutcheon, and then in the second round we beat Jeff for the first time in like 15 years, and then we played in a sectional championship as a team that didn't win a game in the regular season. That's the beautiful thing about Indiana.
Sure.
We're not counting ourselves out of this game. We know that Triton's going to come in and do their thing, and they're a power I team, and they've got 2 really good running backs. They're going to come out in 31 personnel a lot, and just kind of pound the rock and do their thing. And we got to stop the quarterback on rollouts, and the formations are a little different, but really they're a team that looks a lot like Tri-County in the way they run the ball. So we feel like we've prepared for it now for 2 weeks. We feel like we can get downhill, and we feel like formationally, especially on defense, we match up to them pretty well. If we can control the A gaps and make them bounce stuff outside and try to rally up and make tackles for short gains, we like our chances.
I would like to ask you how the attitude is everybody's ball club going into this week.
Bob, I can't tell you. These kids, we've had a rough year, right? You look at our scores, and we're struggling in a lot of areas, and that's you can't hide that. But our morale is through the roof still.
That's good.
It's fantastic. Seriously, if you would have asked me in June and July and told me how the season was going to go, and I could have told you some stuff that I would have felt about morale. And we don't really have a whole lot of infighting. Even during games when they're going bad, our kids aren't really getting on each other. Sure, there's little flare-ups here and there, but that's happening for everybody. For us, our kids, they truly, it's a brotherhood. And we've talked about that, and we talked about what that's supposed to look like, and we do things in our program to make that happen. And it all starts with the little stuff, and if they get the little stuff right, then the big stuff will come along with it. And morale, to me, is a big thing, and we're doing the little things right as a coaching staff and as a program, and our kids are buying in, and they're sticking with us.
John, thanks for coming over. I appreciate it, and good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely, Bob. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. Thank you, Arnie's, too, for always having us here, and we look forward to talking to you next week.
John Ewing from the North Newton Spartans, back to wrap things up on the Coach's Cage right after this.
Hi, this is Chuck Clark with the Underwood Insurance Agency, formerly Preferred Insurance Group. Are you tired of being sacked every month with your auto insurance bill? Do you feel you just pay your premium to your agent and never hear from them? We at the Underwood Insurance Agency work with over 10 insurance carriers to get you our best rate and coverage we can, and we pride ourselves on serving our customers like they are our family. We are conveniently located in Remington and Lafayette. We can be reached at underwoodagency.com. Reach out to us to score big savings.
After a hard day's work or play, it's time for some relaxation, and there's no better place than Unwind on Front Street in Rensselaer. For massage therapy, facials, spray tanning, yoga classes, and wellness, stop by Unwind. They also offer student-athletes 30-minute massages for $25. Alina would like to thank Unwind's loyal customers for their patronage since 2016. To make an appointment, call Unwind at 219-869-0290.
Anders Water Conditioning in downtown Rensselaer is here for all of your water supplies and softening needs. At Anders, we sell and rent water softeners, water coolers, and have all of your bottled water and salt needs too. Call Chuck to set up your consultation today. 219-866-7430. Anders Water Conditioning, family owned since 1991.
If you're looking for some great food before the big game or anytime, stop by the Wagon Wheel Grill on South College Avenue in Rensselaer. From their famous Wagon Masters to their great homemade chili, the Wagon Wheel is the place to go to satisfy your hunger needs. Takeout is also available by calling the Wagon Wheel at 219-866-9942.
Founded in 1931, Community State Bank in Brook is your community bank. We specialize in relationship banking while offering the technology required to meet your modern banking needs. Community State Bank is the area leader in new construction loans and home mortgages. Our lenders know small business and have products to meet your farm and business needs. We're available to get to know you and your needs today at 224 West Main in Brook or by calling 219-275-2441.
Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
All right, ready to wrap things up. Appreciate all the coaches coming in. Appreciate the sponsors for making the show possible. And Arnie's again for hosting us here. And Scotty Miller, great job running the camera and the board, as always. Until we greet you next Wednesday with the Coach's Cage. Bob Kurtz for Scotty Miller. So long, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of 3KG Community Broadcasting.